Welcome back to the Moms Interrupted podcast. We're your hosts, Taylor and Natasha.
Really re-energized for the new year.
I mean, truly, I'm just so happy to not be in the holiday chaos anymore.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to have a routine.
It's nice to know what day it is and what I'm doing that day and knowing that I have childcare. I was ready. I was ready. Also, our sons go to the same preschool and the Christmas performance was 7,000 years ago. I'm like, how long was this break and was Christmas?
Sorry.
I'm done. I don't want to hear one more thing about Christmas.
I was cracking myself up because over the break, I posted a story and I used a clip of a Christmas song. And it's like, Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. And nobody commented ha ha ha. I get your joke. But I was like, I can't wait for school to start again. Just a few hours, just some routine. Okay. 4-year-olds are relatively easy because at least my 4-year-old, because he goes and plays with his toys. We have a few Hot Wheels tracks and he plays for hours and he's so independent relative to a 1-year-old, which is what else I have. So that is so easy, but just oh my God, the moms who have their kids home all day, every single day. I mean, which it used to be me.
Yeah.
Before we started doing this, but now I'm just no.
I just hired another day of help because my son is only in 2 half days of preschool, which is nothing.
Yeah, not enough.
And I have a baby coming in about a month and a half.
Yeah, you don't have to justify it, girl.
I was walking the dog and my son yesterday. He has officially totally declined the stroller. I want to walk, I want to bike, I want to scooter, but he's 2.5.
Right.
So scootering means getting off every block and going into every single person's yard and home.
AKA torture.
AKA
when you're just trying to walk the dog.
I'm trying to imagine holding the baby and him and the dog. And I'm like, I don't
have a dog. My husband has a dog. That's where we're at. My husband has a dog and I don't.
So this is actually a good segue, right? Into our episode.
Yep.
I just had a talk with my husband. He doesn't have any paternity leave. So, we had a talk about what that's going to look like and if he can come home at 3 and if he can do drop off and pick up on the days that Kelly has to be somewhere, all the different things he can do. And I said, the situation with the dog is going to be you for at least the first few weeks, at least, because it's just not working.
It's just too hard. It's just one more thing. It's just exhausting. The dog is what puts me over. We'll be pulling up to the house and I'm getting the kids out of the car and I've got the groceries and I've got all of our stuff and everyone's whining and then the dog's barking and it's that meme where it's Jessica. That's how I feel. I'm shut up.
Your dog too
Stop
is so
barking.
Funny because
he's so funny.
I love
that's a nice word for him. Funny.
I love him, but my dog is kind of a cat dog, kind of just sits around. Achilles will tell you pay attention to me.
Yeah.
He's
when I
go over, he's
yeah. He's
on the door, on the window, on
he's
the
here's
chair.
Here's my ball. Make yourself useful. That's the thing. It's so overstimulating.
And his nails on the.
I have a physical reaction. You guys,
because he's a big dog.
I have an 80-pound Doberman. You guys, living at my house is my mother-in-law comes over and she's like, "Are you okay?" We have an 80-pound Doberman. I have a 22-pound Bengal cat. We have 2 kids under the age of 4. We live in a 1,700 square foot home. It's like a zoo. And that's why dads need to help postpartum. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I will say, just to kick it right off, it's very hard to plan for, and men typically, in my experience, have a hard time being all right, this is the plan, and I understand completely how it's gonna be. My experience is it's very hard for them to have future thought, and so when they're in it is when they really figure it out, and you have to figure it out together. I know as a nesting mom, you want to make a plan and be this is what I'm gonna need from you, and you want to educate them, and honestly, they don't really want to hear it. That's my experience. And then when they're in it and they're forced to hear it, that's when like the needle can start moving. That's just my experience. Maybe not every guy is like that, but I just feel like they're more in the moment people than us. Especially when you're like third trimester nesting, you're like, this is how I want things to be. This is how I foresee things going. These are the things that you can help with. These are the tasks that I need you to take over. They're like, yeah. Like whatever. They're tired of hearing about all of your nesting projects and they're just like, we'll figure it out when we get there. But there's a lot of things that they can do to help. And when you're in it, they have to.
Yeah. And I think that it is interesting though, because I would say that childbirth, even more so than postpartum, is like a one-person experience.
Yeah.
And yet couples go to childbirth education classes a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And take those classes. And so know like what to expect with birth. And I do think my husband was a little bit shocked at how intense postpartum was. I mean, I was too. Like I honestly had no idea I would be bleeding that much or like be so incapable of even like walking outside the house. Yeah. So I think just like not necessarily a course, but like this episode of just knowing kind of here's what's coming. And so if you know, you can at least relate to him. And so less about knowing like what exact tasks they're going to do, because that will develop and change literally every day. But more about what you are going to be experiencing, because then it's not as shocking and they might be able to step up and be like, oh, because you literally can't move, like, let me make sure I'm going out and buying like these pads or this or this, or planning for a meal delivery, or like keeping up communication with other relatives, or, you know, doing things to take some stuff.
In my experience is that like if there's effort there and like open communication, like the tensions are high, right? It's emotional. There's like a lot of changes happening. Like a lot of times the dad doesn't prepare a lot. And so it feels like there's like hit with this like train of change.
And like, honestly, we don't prepare a lot either, because you can't.
No, you can't. It's like you just don't know what's coming until you're in it. Like you don't know until you know.
And every day is Groundhog Day.
100%. Especially like your husband or partner doesn't have paternity leave. And so like their lives, there's just so many factors. Their lives continue on. And then like your life changes. And then they come home and they expect you to also be the same. And like you're just not, in the sense that like all of your needs have changed. All of your priorities have changed. They feel replaced. Like I will never forget my husband being like, you still love me the most, right? And me being like, you're an adult. Like you can take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like it changes. And not to say you don't still love your husband. It's just like, it's just a different, it's just something.
You're just trying to keep something else alive. Like we're not trying to keep our husbands alive.
Right.
We're trying to keep alive. So the stakes right now are just a little higher.
And you're learning so much. You're learning about newborn care, and you're learning on sleep deprivation. I like to say like the things that are said overnight in the dark do not come to the light of day. Like tensions get high overnight, the baby's crying, you're like, wake up, stop snoring. I'm sorry, but those things do not carry over to the next day. They don't count. And like Taylor said, your needs will change. Sometimes you're going to be like, I want you to do this in the middle of the night. I want you to stay up late so that I can sleep, or I want you to get up early so that I can sleep then, or whatever. You have to experiment. And I think that just discussing that it's going to be an experiment. Like we always talk about how like parenting is like literally an experiment every day.
Yeah.
You're like, what science experiment are we doing today? And seeing what works. So I think going into it with low expectations, knowing that everybody's gonna be tired, tensions are high, it's a very quick and fast learning curve. It also really depends on the kind of baby that you get. Like you just don't know what you're gonna get
and how you're feeding them. Like
a lot of times, like what happens in my experience is like they see you give birth and they're like, holy shit, like I gotta help this person because like what they just went through is fucking crazy. So like, let me help you. But then real life happens and they have to go back to work, and then that's an adjustment. And then you're like, okay, well, like I still need your help. I still need you to like pick up the slack. And they're like, well, I'm back at work. I'm doing something too. It can feel like it can get tit for tat. Everybody has to adjust to the new normal where it's around the clock job. So like you are home with the baby during work hours, your partner is at work during work hours, and then you come home and you're both parents.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's no longer like, oh, we work 9 to 5 and then we come home and we get to do whatever we want. Right. It's like you come home and now you're parents and you split that time, and that means being up overnight, and you can figure that out however you want to figure that out, like the staying up and the feedings and the, you know, getting up early and doing shifts or whatever, but just setting the expectation that everyone's a parent now.
Yeah.
And there's an adjustment to that, and there's going to be feelings around it, and like how much of a transition it is. That's real.
Yeah. We posted a video once about how criminal it is that you have to go into the pediatrician when you're still like bleeding and like with cesareans. They tell you not to drive a car, not to do this, but like you have to be at
a pediatrician.
We got a lot of comments being like, why can't the dad do this? There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, a lot of moms don't want to leave their baby.
Like if you haven't had a baby yet, you would be like, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Right.
But then once you have a baby, you're like, I remember my mom was in town and it was like a week postpartum. My husband was like, let's do a quick dinner out, get some like fresh air. And I like had a physical reaction to leaving the baby. Yeah. We were at the restaurant and I was like having a panic attack.
So you might not want your husband take your baby to the pediatrician. It's a good opportunity to discuss, well, could he possibly help coordinate the pediatrician appointment? Right. Could he possibly help drive you there, drop you off, like take you to the front door so you don't have to walk? Postpartum becomes very, like you said, tit for tat. I do this, you do this. No, you're in it together. There's so much that goes into breastfeeding, and there's so much that goes into nighttime wake situations. Don't have to do with feedings. Babies be staying up for no reason, even when they're not hungry. Oh my God. I remember bouncing on that stupid birth ball at like 2 a.m. like trying to get them to calm down. I'm sorry. That's my husband is so good at that. Yeah. That's what he can do.
But also, like, I had a baby who would not be settled by her dad.
Yeah.
So then there's that, right? And I was like, actually, this is, you're just making it worse. And it's not your fault, but I have to do this. And like, that's okay. There's other things that you can do.
Yeah.
So like my baby would not let my husband do basically anything for the first year, but like there's other things that you can do. Like I was like, you can grill me a meal, go make food. Like you can, before you have a baby that like you don't think take up that much time or so much mental space, mental load, mental whatever. And then you have a baby and you're like, I have too much in my brain. I need you to offload some of these tasks, right? Like the dog. And we've talked about this stuff before, but like grocery shopping, stocking diapers, stocking like food and snacks for you, filling up your water bottle. I mean, just
there's so much mental load stuff that falls on moms, and I'm not trying to blame moms, but I do think sometimes we enable husbands to just not know. They are so capable of knowing what freaking size diaper and what they should have, and I never ask him to do it. I just order it, and I just figure it out. I figure it out if it's low, and like if I had asked him to do those things the first time around, he would have done all of it.
Yeah. And what I will say to that is, I'm generalizing, but we totally enable that behavior. And also a lot of times it's just easier to do it yourself because you're like, I already know, like
at first.
Well, yes. And that's what I was going to say. The second kid, I was like, I can't do this all on my own. You need to be the keeper of some of these things, because I no longer am willing and able to be the keeper of all of this stuff. So I just started being like, I don't know. I don't know. You are also a parent and you can make that decision. Like he'll be like, what do you want to do for XYZ? I'm like, you go ahead and decide. Like I am offloading the mental load. I am having a full responsibility transfer to you right now. You now own this task. You now own this responsibility, and I am giving you full executive decision-making power here. And I want you to own it from start to finish. That's the other thing is like, I don't want you to just like order the diapers this one time because I asked you. I want you to own that task from start to finish.
Then you have to nag and keep doing it. And I'm annoying myself.
No, the problem is that I have to oversee it. So like I have to check that you did it. And then when the diapers arrive, I have to unload the box. I have to break down the box. I have to put the diapers away. So it's like, I want you to own that. My thing is the total responsibility transfer. Yeah. I want you to own that entire task. I not only want you to keep the diapers stocked, order them when they need to be ordered. I want you to unpack them, put them away, put them in the diaper caddies around the house. Like that's the entire task. Yeah. And that's what you are now responsible for.
Whenever my husband would leave the house with our son, I would like pack a bag for him. One day I was just like, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And he went to the park and he called me and was like, Kelly just pooped and I don't have a diaper. And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? He was like, can you come to the park? And I was like, no. And in his defense, I created that situation. Yeah. And so like, has it ever happened again? No.
Yeah.
Never again.
That's the thing though. It's like you enable the behavior and then like you have to fix it. So it's like you at a certain point just have to be like, okay, you now have to spread your wings.
Yeah.
Because it actually does them a disservice.
It does.
Your partner.
They're totally capable.
They're totally capable and they're willing. But if you just continue to do it for them, they're just probably going to be like, all right, well, this is what she does.
Right.
I did the same thing the second time around. I'm like, I'm not packing a diaper bag for you. Like, and how many times has he come home and been like, oh my God, we have a blowout situation. And like, now I have to scrub the car seat. And I'm like, now you learned.
Yeah.
Or like, oh my God, the kids are wigging out. I forgot their water bottles or whatever. And I had to go buy snacks or buy water bottles. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's why I usually pack a water bottle and a snack and a diaper bag.
Exactly.
But you do it your way. That's the other thing is like, as moms, a lot of times we want them to do it our way because it feels like the right way. And like, we have to let go of that and be like, you own the responsibility. Keep them alive. I'm not going to like the way that you do it, but also it's not the end of the world if you do it wrong.
Right. Little things that sound stupid.
It sounds stupid, but when you're in it, you're just like, you're in it and you're like, this matters. Yeah. And then you get to the point where it matters less than like the help that you need. And so you are forced to let it go. Right. Because you're like, I just need help more than I need to care about this.
My son was only contact naps for ever.
I was going to say
his whole life.
Still.
Yeah. And so my husband, I think he did 50% of all of the different contact naps.
Amazing.
And I was a little more specific about like when he's showing signs of tiredness, you put him on, you do this.
Right.
And like I would get annoyed because I'd go to a workout and I'd be like, what, is he asleep yet? Right. And he'd be like, no. And I think like, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's annoying because, you know, overtired baby, blah, 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 blah. But my husband's there. He's doing it. Right. He's parenting. He had fun with the baby. Yeah. Like he watched him. Like I'm doing my thing. I'm getting my workout done. Right. In the scheme of things, I got what I wanted. And like
the thing with the sleep thing though, that really grinds my gears is that you tell them like they need to go down at XYZ time, watch for the tired cues, and then they don't do it. And then I have to deal with the repercussions.
Oh no, I would make him deal with it.
Okay, so that's my thing. Is like then I'm back on duty and I have to deal with the problematic behavior because of like the poor decisions that's something that I can't let go of. And that's why I get called names by my husband about the nap situation because he's like, you're
drill sergeant.
Yeah. He's like, what's up with the nap situation? And like that's just something that I can't let go of because my kids need the sleep, and if they don't get it, who has to deal with the bad behavior? Me. And I have to fix it because I'm the default parent and my husband is not doing 50% of the naps. He's like doing it, you know, here and there. And so that's one thing I will not relinquish. Yeah. I will not.
And that's different for each family because napping and sleep is so different. Like I was a lot more wherever he falls asleep, whenever like, in fact, it wasn't until we got tied to the crib where my anxiety spiked and I felt like everything had to be perfect and sleep had to be perfect. And I'm not going to do that the second time because I know now that that's not the right way for me to do postpartum at all. I'll also have a toddler. So I'm just like not going to be at home being able to be like, you have to do this. You have to do this.
And that's kind of the beauty about the second time is like, you have to like, okay. So for example, my daughter is transitioning to 1 nap right now from 2. And like my son goes to preschool and pickup is at 12:30. And so I'm like, what are we going to do about this nap in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because like, this is just real life.
Right.
Like the first time you have the privilege of like obsessing about things and like getting
their
into the
perfect
weeds.
schedule for the one perfect baby.
And like your whole life revolves around like, well, they're having a nap at this time and they're in the crib and like here's the perfect environment. And now I'm like we went yesterday, I was like, we got to go to Trader Joe's, and it was like 10:30 and I was like, she's going to fall asleep in the car, and she did. And I was like, well, no, we had to go to the grocery store. And she was like yelling, night, 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 night. And I'm like, I know, we're going to go take a nap soon. Like, just hold on. Second kid. Like, and I can only imagine third, fourth, whatever kids.
I just saw a friend of mine in San Diego just had a third kid, and I saw her video over the holidays, and it was like, this is how you know you're a third baby. And it was like a huge like Christmas rager. And the baby's just like, passed out on the couch
because they just adapt. That's the thing. Like you just can't control for all of the things that you can control for the first time. Right. And it goes for like so many things, like eating and, you know, feeding them solids and doing baby led weaning and the sleep schedules and the, you know, the perfect bath routine. Like I used to like slather Kane in lotion before bed every night and do like this like spa like experience. And that was so cute. But also like,
I still see all those videos on TikTok and I'm like, oh my God.
It was so like
never
angelic.
did any of that.
It was very like calm. But now I like read Leah one book and I'm like, good night. Like Kane's yelling for me. I got shit to do, you know. I'm like, see ya. And then she rolls over. But that's the other thing is like you're less just stressed about all of the things.
For first time parents, I feel like is what we really want to talk about. In America, usually dads only take about 2 weeks.
I'm surprised that it's not less.
What I will say is like it takes about maybe if it's a vaginal birth, 4 weeks for you to even feel like you want to go outside for a walk.
Yeah.
Literally. That is just realistic. Depending on if you tore and have stitches or what's going on. I had no stitches, no tears, and I tried to do a long walk at 4 weeks and bled a lot.
Yeah.
So you have no idea how you're going to be.
You have no idea. I tried to go on like a very short walk outside, I remember. But like I didn't have any tearing that required stitches either my first time. And I felt like very weak. Like I just like going outside and trying to do a little stroll to like, get out of the house and get some air. I felt like very weak. It hurt to sit down. Yeah. I was laying down most of the time. I literally was in pain, you know, bleeding through a diaper, bleeding through the puppy pads on my, it's just like very tender. And even if you are like feeling pretty good, it's a huge recovery time. It's just important to not push it.
Yeah. So knowing that the healing time is longer than 2 weeks and your husband usually will be there 2 weeks or even less, I think just being realistic about the fact that like your need for help does not stop when he goes back. Do you have a relative that can come and help? And just relaying that to him, like, okay, here is my realistic healing timeline based on, you know, vaginal birth with no tear, vaginal birth with a big tear, a episiotomy, C-section, it's all different healing. So I think just making sure you're both aware of the healing timeline and how long that can.
And that's just the physical.
That's just physical. If you have other kids, obviously, like the healing gets a little bit thrown out the window.
And it gets the second time, in my experience, is easier. Like your body is just like, oh yeah, we know what we're doing here. Yeah. Like I didn't have any problems sitting down and stuff. The first time though, your body is like, whoa. And your partner, like I want to just make a list of all of the things that like your partner needs to pick up the slack. Your partner, your support person, whoever is there to help you, cleaning and dishes and making meals and doing laundry, like those things should no longer or just temporarily like not be on your daily list of things to do, because what you need to prioritize is your baby and your recovery and establishing breastfeeding. Like those are the three things, and everything else should be like that slack that needs to get picked up.
And if that slack can't be picked up by your husband, then it's a good idea to communicate with him about how he can help coordinate it. Yeah. Coordinate help, coordinate communications with people who are helping, whether it's in-laws or your parents or other people, because you have so much on your plate already with keeping this baby alive and keeping yourself sane and healthy.
I don't think that people, especially dads, understand, because like to a lot of men, it's just like, okay, women are pregnant and breastfeeding and giving birth and doing all of these things like for thousands and thousands of years, and everybody's doing it, right? But like most people do have a support system and like a relative that's coming to help them or whatever. I think that a lot of times people who don't have kids, like they don't understand the magnitude of all of the things happening, right? It's like a perfect storm. It's like you are physically recovering. You have this new thing, baby, to take care of. You have to take care of yourself, and then all of the responsibilities that you have don't go away outside of that. So it's like this perfect storm, and all of a sudden you're expected to like coordinate your own help and like coordinate all of these things. Most people have support, and if your partner is like, well, everybody's doing this, like that, with support. And so that's what's helping making this process happen. Yeah. So
I'll never forget 1 week postpartum. I was like, this is so easy. And then my mom left and I was like, this fucking sucks. What am I doing? Help. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I do want to stress that, you know, going out there and providing and working and for your family, like, is so important too. So that's why it's less about like, oh, since you can't do these things, your husband's doing all of them. Right. It's more so like, here are all the things you can no longer do. How can your husband help support you get that help in some way? Right. Because it might be that you guys decide financially that it would be worth it for a couple of days of a postpartum doula. Right. Or it might be worth it for, you know, you never know what's going to be covered by insurance. Yeah. One of our friends just reached out to me about postpartum doula references in the area because their work pays for one.
Amazing.
And I think that times are changing and that's starting to happen a little bit more and more. So I think so cool. Just having and like, as you know, it takes a lot of energy to find a resource, to interview, to do all these things. And like, you want your husband to be comfortable with them too. So there's just so many ways they can be helpful that isn't taking all the stuff off your plate.
Yeah. And we're not to say like, oh, you're incapacitated, so you can't do anything. Nobody's saying like, oh, you're just gonna be like laying there like limp.
But like, it's putting value on the things you're doing. So a lot of moms postpartum feel like, I'm doing nothing, I'm sitting around, you are feeding someone from someone your body
with your body.
And and like, let's not forget what you just went through. Birth is crazy.
And you're learning like the learning curve, like it's like straight up. The stakes are high because it's keeping a human alive. Yes, women have been doing this from the beginning of time, but we've been doing it with generational wisdom and support. And now we no longer have that. Like we don't live in villages where women are coming and taking care of you and helping you and teaching you. I just feel like because we don't have the village, like we don't have generational support. We don't have people being like, oh yeah, that baby's hungry. Oh yeah, that baby like is just gassy. Like it just, everything is,
those noises are normal.
Yeah, it's just learning on the job.
So your husband can Google for you.
Yeah. My biggest thing the first time around was like, I just want you to like do it with me.
Totally.
I want to be able to vent to you. I want
to feel like this is our chapter. It's not mine.
Yeah, and I'm not like alone, because for me, some of the worst moments postpartum is just like, you feel so alone, but you're always with someone, the baby. And so you're like, I'm touched out and I'm like not alone ever. I don't even get to pee by myself, but I also don't talk to an adult for so many hours of the day, and I feel so lonely. And so like for me, I had to explain to my husband, like, when you get home, like I'm so dying for human connection. And I don't necessarily want to be away from the baby, but I just want to feel like we are like doing it together. I might be annoying, like going down rabbit holes, researching things, but like, please just humor me or like talk me off the ledge. I don't necessarily need you to fix anything. I just want you to be in it with me and like, give me grace that like you understand and like thank me for the work that I'm doing, even though it looks like a lot of sitting around. It's a lot of mental like wheels are turning. I'm learning things. I'm learning about breastfeeding. I'm learning about the baby. Like I'm trying to do my best. And so, yeah, I just want to feel like we're doing it together. Anyways, that being said, since you're about to do it again, what are your things that you feel like you want your husband to support you with postpartum, like in the first few weeks? What are the things that move the needle the most postpartum for you that your husband does?
So the first time, I liked having things that we still did together. Mm-hmm. For example, we rewatched the entire Game of Thrones series.
Yeah.
And I know that's not something he helped me with.
Yeah.
But just to be doing feedings and I had someone there with me and we were watching our favorite show and we were like talking about it and so excited that we were like re-experiencing it. Mm-hmm. It actually is a very fond memory of mine postpartum because it just felt like we were in our newborn bubble together when that was happening. Right. And it would be when he was back from work and we'd eat dinner and watch a show. And it felt like it was our like thing to do, even though we were at home and taking care of the baby at the same time. So
it's that connection.
It's that connection. So I think that regardless of baby tasks, because I could name off so many tasks that he did that were helpful, like changing diapers or soothing baby at night. I just think that making sure to tell him like, it would be really great if you could initiate connection with me.
Yeah.
And so we don't feel like ships passing in the night would be really helpful because that really changed postpartum for me is having that thing with him. I got advice once during one of my courses. One of the experts that was visiting was a mental health specialist. And she said, I highly suggest postpartum, the first few weeks, scheduling check-ins with your partner.
Yeah.
Where half of the stuff can be about the baby, but half of the stuff should be about like, okay, this is what like I wish I could have had help with this week, or this is what you did that I thought was so helpful.
Right.
Because like the praise part is also really good too.
Right.
Not just being like, this is what you did that sucked. Because like that's really easy for me to put together that list.
Totally.
Like really easy.
Totally.
But it's so important with connection with your partner to be like, this is actually what you did that was so helpful. And I would love if you kept doing it because like it really changed the game for me.
And also here's some more stuff for you to do.
Exactly. So I think the scheduled check-ins are super important.
They are.
If you don't schedule it, it's just not going to happen. There's too much going on.
No, it'll just constantly slip. But I like what you said about the connection thing postpartum. We actually just had a conversation about this and like speaking about like taking on responsibilities. And I was like, I want you to be in charge of, because it's a fun responsibility for him to take on, like scheduling connection with me.
Yeah.
Like I want you to be in charge of like once a month, you scheduling, like we don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money. Just like put it on the calendar that like it's our night, and you just taking on that responsibility to try to connect with me, like changes a lot for the relationship. Yeah. And like I have enough on my plate. Like I have so much going on. I don't necessarily need you to order diapers anymore. Like we have 2 kids. Like I've got my system down. Like at this point, what would be helpful for me, and I think a task that you would enjoy doing is that. And like in therapy, we've talked about before, like you don't have to give your partner things to do that they don't like to do. Yeah, sometimes we all have to do stuff we don't want to do, like of course, but it's not that nice to be like, you have to do this because like that's the only fair thing. Well, they can take on a task that's helpful, but also like they don't mind doing,
and that goes both ways,
right?
Because my husband postpartum, I already know, will be so helpful with taking our toddler to the pool or to the park, and like I don't know if I'm just not a fun mom or what, but there is nothing I'd rather do less than go to a park or go to a pool and jump around and teach him to swim. Like I am good at other things, and I enjoy doing other things with him. That also matters. So like my husband comes home every day and is like, everyone gave me like so much praise for how I taught my son how to swim. Like I did that. Like, he's having the time of his life, and I'm like, you go.
Everybody has their strengths.
Yes.
But yeah, like same thing. My husband right now is like, comes home and is like, let's go boogie boarding. And I'm like, you couldn't pay me to get on a boogie board.
Well, you couldn't pay you to get in the water.
Well, yeah.
Regardless.
I'm not getting in the water. It's cold. But I do think giving them a task, giving them the full responsibility, and then not attacking it, right? Not nitpicking it and being like, thank you for the effort. That goes a long way. Another question I have for you. What's a perfect world around like feeding and shifts look like?
So I was exclusively breastfeeding. And at first I was like, anytime the baby wakes up, you're in it with me. You're waking up. We're doing this. You're going to change the diaper right before the feed. And then we're going to do this. And then I slowly started to realize that just wasn't helpful for me.
But I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way. Like that to me, that doesn't do it for me.
So now I know I am very, very good at waking up early and going to bed early. That's what I like. So my husband can stay up later and sleep in later. So now I know, because it worked for us the first time, I will go to bed at like 6:30, 7, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when baby's hungry again, he'll bring him to me.
Nice.
But there's designated time that dad has with baby that allows me to sleep more. In the middle of the night, I'm going to be the one waking up and feeding baby, and I'm not going to wake him up because he doesn't have nipples or boobs. And that works for us. And I will say, I'm not good at sleeping in, but a lot of people do find it helpful for them to sleep in. Dad takes baby, do the same thing in the morning.
Right.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me because when the sun's up, I'm like, where's my coffee? So
totally.
You just have to find what works for you.
Yeah, you can try out different things. And also it can be different with different kids. Like I found that with my son, I wanted to go to bed super early, but like with my daughter, I was okay, like staying up later. So it's just figuring out, like sometimes certain feeds in the middle of the night are harder than others. You just have to like figure out what works, and it's okay if it changes. Like, but again, communication.
And if it depends temperament too, because when you have rough patches where your baby might be crying a lot and like you guys can take turns trying to soothe, trying to do whatever. So see.
Trial and error.
I
literally say this out loud. We are on the same team. And it's not just to my husband. It's a reminder to me, because like it's easy to get resentful or like a fight to the bottom, like tit for tat. Like you did this, I did this, and I'm better than you, and blah, blah. It's easy to get there when you're sleep deprived, when you're exhausted, when every day is Groundhog's Day and everybody's doing a lot of work and it's never enough. Right. But when you just start like trying to flip the script and be like, okay, we're on the same team. I don't get a badge of honor by like putting you down. We need to lift each other up and have connection and talk about the things that like are going really well, in addition to the things that like maybe we need to work on and we can help with. And then also taking your like criticism too. I'm not good at that. Like actually I'm like the worst. Don't tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm amazing.
Right.
It's hard for me. So yeah.
Another thing I just thought of that has to do with everything we've talked about with connection. There are very few times I feel like in a woman's life where she feels less sexy and cute than postpartum. And I think that for me, it'd be much appreciative to just like, I don't know, make me feel like I'm not the grossest person in the world.
Oh my God. Like a fat, bloody ogre.
Like, you look beautiful today.
Right.
I know that sounds so stupid.
No, but
you know what I mean?
You're just like so tender.
Yeah.
And like you look in the mirror and you don't recognize. I mean, it's National Geographic. You look in the mirror and you're like, I'm an animal.
Yeah. And a cute connection, like a date night inside.
Yeah,
like put candles out, cook dinner.
Right.
Like, I just want to feel like I'm like a little bit
worthy and like wanted.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to have sex.
Yeah. But also don't touch me, but tell me I'm pretty.
Yeah. Totally. And like that'll pay off in the future.
Yes.
But like not right now.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing. Like, okay, dads, like another thing, if you have sent this episode to your husband, postpartum hormones, breastfeeding hormones like suppress your libido. And there's a biological reason for that. It's because your body needs to heal, and nature is like telling you don't get pregnant again.
Not even to mention the physical healing.
The physical healing, the hormones, and you're so sleep deprived, like, and you just don't want to be touched anymore.
Yeah.
I don't get the touched out thing. Like, I know a lot of people do, but I get the like, I'm done being needed. Someone always needs me for something.
Yeah.
Always. Whether it's a meal, whether it's a water bottle, my needs don't get met.
Yeah.
And then to feel like I need to meet my husband's needs. It's like the dog, the cat, like everybody has needs all the time. And like my needs are the ones that are constantly being dropped so that I can meet everybody else's needs. And you just get to a point where you're like, I can't give anymore.
Yeah.
Because I don't have my needs met ever. And I just like want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And not needed right now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So again, though, just communicating
and
needs.
and like it's okay. Like we're all learning. I feel like a lot of times husbands don't even realize that. Like they don't understand.
And this is like everything we've talked about in this episode is like really about the first, 8 or so weeks.
Yeah.
But what I will say is postpartum is not 8 weeks. It is a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you are not feeling normal, back to self, totally healed, ready to jump on your husband at 8 weeks. Because I think there's this misconception that at that 6 to 8 week appointment, you're sent along your way, you're good,
you're cleared.
and you're cleared.
Yeah.
No, it is so much longer. And it is, postpartum isn't a number. It is different for every single person.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like I say a lot, and you're probably like, just shut up about the expectations, but like set your expectations low. Like it takes a while to get back into your normal groove. I'm 16 months postpartum, and like
I'm still postpartum and I'm pregnant.
It's true. Forever. No, forever. I mean, if you just keep doing it.
We just keep doing that. I'm not going to just keep doing it.
No.
This can be marked in history online, published in this episode that I am not getting pregnant again.
You're for sure.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. This little girl's the last.
That's it.
Yeah,
you're done. That's so nice to like know though, to be like, that's it.
Yeah. I think
I'll feel that way the next time.
Yeah. I think I mean, we'll talk about this in a different pregnancy episode, but if I could eliminate the pregnancy part and just do birth and postpartum, I would do it again.
Yeah.
But I'll have to talk about why I am not doing it again.
Yeah.
On the next episode. Recording.
Yeah. And on that note, stay tuned for that one. If I was going to give a dad a like hot tip, it would be like that you're in a supporting role, but it's about, in the early days, it's about being a good husband, not necessarily being a good father. Whatever you can do to like be a good husband and like maybe and partner. Yeah. So like not necessarily like in the ways that like you used to be.
Because taking care of baby means taking care of mom.
Yeah,
first.
exactly.
And so what a better role for a dad than to take care of mom while she's taking care of baby.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's teamwork, and it's not 50-50. Like moms are biologically going to just be needed more.
Right.
So like set that expectation, but husband is the biggest support system, and just being there like mentally, physically, emotionally, and being like, what you're doing is hard, and validating it, and just being like, I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
Like those words and putting effort into it is going to make like leaps and bounds of a difference.
Agreed.
Send it to your hubs.
Snaps for dads. So we did an episode once for Father's Day, and it was called Snaps for Dads, and it was our lowest performing episode.
Nobody gives a fuck about dads.
So
to this day, it's got like no listens.
Anyway,
it's our biggest running joke behind the scenes. We're like, snaps for dads. Nobody fucking cares.
But on that note, really snaps for dad.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. Don't forget to follow and rate us on Spotify or Apple, wherever you may be listening. For more content, check us out on Instagram or TikTok at @momsinterruptedpod. We'll see you guys next week on the couch.